Breaking news! What happened between the Denver Broncos and the San Francisco 49ers wasn't just another practice session, it was the kind of performance that turns whispers into headlines. Imagine walking into an opponent's backyard, facing one of the league's most feared offenses, and having the media call your defense Super Bowl caliber. Now imagine doing it without 3 of your defensive starters. That's exactly what happened, and it left the Broncos region buzzing like nothing we've seen in years. Before I tell you all the impressive details of this matchup, like if you've been a Broncos fan through thick and thin, it's time to let the NFL know this team is real. And if you're in the know, leave a comment. Go, Broncos! My heart bleeds orange and blue, because after hearing what happened in the Bay Area, you might start to believe we're witnessing the birth of something truly special in Denver. Now, let's get straight to it. The buzz coming out of 49ers camp, and yes, from their own beat writers, is that this Broncos defense is outright disgustingly dangerous. Multiple reporters called it Super Bowl caliber. And the crazy part? Sean Payton's squad pulled this off without Dre Greenlaw, Alex Singleton, and Brandon Jones, 3 defensive starters who didn't even suit up. Despite that, the Broncos bottled up one of the best running backs in football, Christian McCaffrey, and made Brock Purdy look uncomfortable, picking him off not once, but twice. Jaquan McMillian and Jaquan Barron, blitzing off disguised looks, were wreaking havoc and shutting down the Niners' zone run game, the same scheme Denver has been facing in its own camp. Even Kyle Shanahan, not exactly known for dishing out compliments to opponents, admitted after practice, "This is a real good team, challenged us in all 3 phases. That's offense, defense, and special teams." You don't get much better validation than that from one of the league's sharpest offensive minds. And Talanoa Hufanga, yes, the same safety the Broncos snagged from San Francisco, compared this Denver defense to the 49ers unit that went to the Super Bowl. That's elite company. The physicality was off the charts, but the Broncos avoided any major injuries, unlike other teams around the league today where multiple starters were carted off. The only minor note was Henningsworth, but overall, Denver came out of this battle healthy and dominant. The pressure from Denver's defensive front was relentless, even against one of the best left tackles in the game, and turnovers were coming in bunches. And it wasn't just defense. Let's talk about Bo Nix. This rookie quarterback is already earning the respect of his teammates and even his opponents. Playing against one of the NFL's top defenses, Nix displayed poise and ball control. One of the day's highlights was him rolling right, fading toward the sideline, and firing a strike across his body to Devon Vele. That's a dangerous throw for most quarterbacks, but Nix made it look effortless. Vele, who has been dealing with some minor injuries in camp, not only practiced but made the play of the day, proving he's ready to remind everyone why he was the number 2 receiver last year. Former 49er and current Bronco Mike McGlinchey said it best, "We're going to be in a lot of games because we have Bo Nix as our quarterback." Patrick Surtain, too, when asked about his top 5 QBs, made a point to say, "Bo Nix is going to be a problem." That's the kind of unsolicited confidence you love to hear from your locker room. Even the run game, which has been sluggish against our own elite defense in camp, showed some life against the Niners. No massive breakaway runs yet, but clear improvement. And considering Sean Payton intentionally added weapons this offseason to help Nix through the ground game, this is a good sign for what's coming. And yes, we have to mention, while no one celebrates injuries, the Chargers' offensive line took a big hit when Rashawn Slater was carted off. For a team built to pound the rock, losing their star tackle could be a serious problem for them and an advantage for us in the AFC West race. Everything about this joint practice points toward a Broncos team that is not only building momentum but turning heads across the league. The physical dominance, the quarterback flashes, the chemistry, this is how championship runs start. And that's where things get even more exciting. Because the deeper you look at what happened in that joint practice, the more you see signs that this isn't just a good day story, it's a statement about where the Broncos are headed. The defense didn't just force turnovers, they controlled the tempo of the entire practice. Every snap, every rush, every disguised blitz seemed to chip away at the 49ers' confidence. You could feel the energy shift. Brock Purdy, normally one of the most efficient quarterbacks in the league, looked rushed and indecisive, and when a QB of his caliber starts second-guessing reads, that's a credit to a defense that's executing at an elite level. What makes it more remarkable is how balanced this roster looked without relying on its biggest names. Sean Payton didn't overplay his cards. He protected Greenlaw, Singleton, and Brandon Jones, and still managed to field a unit that could overwhelm a top-tier offense. That tells you this roster has depth, not just star power. And depth wins games in December and January when injuries start piling up around the league. On offense, Bo Nix is already showing he understands Sean Payton's system in a way that goes beyond the basic playbook. It's the subtle things, the way he adjusts protections, the way he manipulates the pocket to buy himself that extra split second, the way he's not afraid to take the smart check down instead of forcing a throw. Those little details are why teammates are publicly saying we're going to be in a lot of games with him at the helm. When Patrick Surtain too slips in a line about Nix being a problem, it's not just locker room hype, it's recognition from one of the best corners in the game that this rookie's ceiling is sky high. Devon Vele's return to form is another under-the-radar storyline that could have huge implications. Last season he carved out the number 2 receiver spot as a rookie, and if he stays healthy, he's the kind of big-bodied target that gives Nix a security blanket in contested catch situations. With Marvin Mims and Troy Franklin also fighting for that WR2 role, Payton suddenly has a variety of weapons to keep defenses guessing. That kind of competition can only sharpen the group heading into the season. And while the run game hasn't exploded yet, the improvement against San Francisco's front seven was noticeable. This is the same 49ers defense that eats running backs alive on Sundays, and Denver found more daylight here than they have all camp against their own defense. Payton's offseason focus on strengthening the run game is starting to show. And when you pair that with Nix's poise, you get an offense that can control games and protect leads, something Broncos fans haven't seen consistently in years. Defensively, the fact that Talanoa Hufanga is comparing this Broncos unit to the Super Bowl-bound Niners defense he played on is no small thing. That group was known for suffocating pressure, discipline, and physicality, exactly what we saw on display in the Bay Area. If Denver can maintain that standard through the season, they won't just be in games, they'll be dictating them. And yes, there's that ripple effect in the AFC West. The Chargers losing Rashawn Slater for any significant time could completely derail their run-heavy approach under Harbaugh. Combine that with Denver's defense peaking and a rising young QB, and the balance of power in the division could shift faster than anyone expected. Broncos country, everything we're hearing and seeing points to a team that's not just talking about competing, they're proving it in high-pressure, high-competition environments. The question is, if this level of performance continues, how far do you think this team can go? Are we watching the foundation of a legitimate Super Bowl run being built right in front of us? And here's the thing, Broncos country, this joint practice wasn't just a spark, it felt like a preview of the brand of football Sean Payton wants to deliver week in and week out. You could sense the discipline, the attention to detail, and the confidence oozing from the players. When a team can walk into another contender's house, strip away 3 defensive starters, and still control the tone of the day, that's a clear sign of identity taking shape. One of the most telling moments came when the 49ers tried to establish the run with Christian McCaffrey early, expecting to set up their play-action game. Instead, the Broncos' front seven smothered every lane, forcing McCaffrey to settle for minimal gains. That disruption doesn't just stop one drive, it forces the opposing coordinator to rethink their entire script. You could almost see Shanahan recalibrating after each possession. That's what great defenses do. They don't just stop plays, they alter game plans. Then there's the composure from Bo Nix, which continues to be the undercurrent of this training camp. Remember, this is a rookie facing one of the most complete defenses in the NFL, and instead of being rattled, he's making smart throws, keeping the offense on schedule, and showing mobility when the pocket breaks down. His connection with Vele on that crossbody throw wasn't just a highlight, it was a statement that this offense can create when the play breaks. That kind of improvisation, especially when paired with Payton's structured play design, can be lethal come regular season. We also can't overlook the depth on both sides of the ball. Backup defenders stepped in for Greenlaw, Singleton, and Jones without a noticeable drop-off. That's the kind of roster resilience that keeps teams in the hunt even when the inevitable midseason injuries come. And on offense, the receiver competition is quietly turning into one of the best storylines of camp. Mims and Franklin bring explosiveness.